This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. Opposition to Labor's pokies plan is mounting in Tasmania's hospitality sector, with some operators saying they'll be forced to sack staff or even close down. Yesterday, the party revealed it will phase out poker machines, transitioning them to casinos if it wins government. Social services are backing the plan, but critics are adamant it will cost the industry.
Glenorchy's RSL president meeting this morning with Labor's Scott Bacon.
This way we're not happy.
Part of intense discussions in reaction to yesterday's announcement. The party revealing it would scrap pokies in pubs and clubs if it wins the state election. This normally die-hard Labor voter has a message for his punters.
We'll be advising everybody that we know not to go Labor. It's as simple as that.
Despite the $50 million compensation package offered by the opposition, John says without the machines to bring in constant revenue, staff will be cut and plans for development scrapped.
The poker machines, as far as we're concerned in our club, are essential for us to do the job that we need to do.
We know that if we want to be true to the Tasmanian people as a result of our consultation, then we must do this.
Labor has a supporter in Brighton's mayor. He believes the $110 million a year currently injected into pokies will be spent boosting regional economies like his.
It'd be better to see that money spent in our local shops, in our local businesses, communities, the health and wellbeing, in the family home.
If only half of the money that is lost in gaming is spent in local communities, conservative estimates of around 180 jobs will be created.
Labor says it will support businesses to change their model of operation. But Jocelyn, who manages 3 busy pubs, is worried. She says Glenorchy's Club Hotel will be forced to shut down and staff, including herself, will be pushed out of work.
At one venue that I would think that will close down, that's 23 to 25 staff, so they'll definitely go. The remainder I could see being halved.
There is a place for legal gaming activity in communities across the state. We are not a party that believes in telling Tasmanians what they can or cannot do, because that is an anti-state.
With 35 neighbourhood houses across the state, many of our families are impacted by pokie machines and the addiction of gambling, so to actually reduce that or have a harm minimisation on that is wonderful.
Federal Group and the Tasmanian Hospitality Association are expected to make comment tomorrow, but ultimately the fate of the policy will be decided by Tasmanians in March. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Plans for a luxury resort on the tip of the Tasman Peninsula have re-emerged. Australian entrepreneur Dick Smith had been driving the development a decade ago, but faced a storm of opposition. Now, under new owners, the project is getting shovel-ready.
Developers meeting with the Premier on a site they hope will be something like the Sapphire of the South.
It's more than just the lodge experience, it's about seeing the area.
Sitting next to the Tasman National Park, this would be home to the $20 million Remarkable Lodge, a luxury all-inclusive resort with 20 suites enjoying that view. It includes a guest-only restaurant, bar, swimming pool and spa.
It's all about the location, all about that sense of place. And, so the product, using local materials and featuring, a vast range of local artisans.
The plans were driven by Dick Smith a decade ago, but faced fierce opposition from environmental groups. The prominent Australian walked away from the project, but it's now being revived by his daughter and her husband.
Well, Tasmania's changed in terms of a destination considerably, so has the whole luxury lodge market.
The plans already received council approval in 2008 and it's still valid.
We need this accommodation on the peninsula. This is the first high-end accommodation. I think, the Sapphire of the South, if you like, really. It will be wonderful for this region.
To help progress development here, the government is offering $1 million from the Office of the Coordinator General for infrastructure upgrades.
It'll be a contribution to the roadway, to water, sewerage infrastructure, for power. So to demonstrate that the state can do its bit.
Interior designs are being finalised ahead of the start of construction in 2019. The first guests are expected at the end of 2020. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
A 55-year-old Rokeby man has died after his concrete truck veered off the road and crashed down an embankment at Tea Tree just after 10 o'clock this morning. The truck rolled and slid down an embankment into a power pole after failing to negotiate a right-hand bend. Tasmania Police say the man was ejected through the front window. A local resident assisted him until emergency services arrived. He was rushed to the Royal Hobart Hospital in a critical condition but died from his injuries this afternoon. Dashcam vision has captured the moment two cars came close to having a high-speed crash on the Huon Highway. The red sedan was travelling on the wrong side of the dual carriageway when it nearly hit an oncoming car. The white four-wheel drive forced to take evasive action to avoid a collision. Police have criticised the driver of the sedan for not paying attention to the road. Anyone with more information about the incident is urged to contact police. And with the holiday season upon us, Tasmania Police has today issued a warning to motorcycle users. 11 riders have died on the state's roads so far this year, an increase of almost 70% on the 5-year motorcycle road toll average.
One fatality is too many on Tasmanian roads, and we are so concerned about this growing trend in regards to motorcycle riders being represented in fatal and serious crashes on Tasmanian roads.
Police say they'll be targeting motorcyclists over the festive season and are urging all riders to wear the right protective gear and ride to conditions. He's one of Tasmania's most versatile athletes, having competed at the highest level as a rower and a cyclist. Now Cameron Worth has wrapped up his first season as a professional Ironman, but he came close to cashing it all in for a job on Wall Street.
Cameron Worth has lived 3 sporting lives: Olympic rower, champion cyclist, now a world-class Ironman.
My enthusiasm for racing a bike was really waning a couple of years ago, but my enthusiasm for training and being the best athlete I could be wasn't.
It's been a tough transition, especially starting from scratch. Worth had to enter as many competitions as he could to qualify for Ironman's holy grail, Kona, in Hawaii. After setting a course record on the bike, Worth blew his lead during the run, but still placed in the top 20.
I mean, the fairy tale would have been fantastic. I was there in my mind to win, and that was gone, so I didn't see the point in killing myself for nothing.
It's unfinished business. Worth will return to Kona in 2018, better prepared for the heat and stress of the event. But his latest sporting switch nearly didn't happen.
Pretty close to going and working on Wall Street. I've always wanted to work in finance, and I thought, well, maybe this is finally the time.
Now the wolf of World Ironman, Worth has no regrets about the change. He's even considering one last crack at Olympic rowing down the track.
You've got to be prepared to lose everything to have something special.
A gamble the 34-year-old has pulled off time and time again. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
A quirky Tasmanian exhibition has brought Alice in Wonderland to life in a bid to educate children. The display offers its visitors a chance to crawl through a rabbit hole, enter a room filled with optical illusions, or work on puzzles, all in the name of learning.
Science has been one of those disciplines that has fallen back over the years in the schools, and it's just great to see an exhibition like this hands-on by doing the activity and doing it all yourself. I think it's a greater way of learning.
The exhibition also explores the concepts behind counting, understanding shapes and telling the time.
It's a really great way for kids to learn science, literacy, numeracy, a whole range of things that kids are really getting out of this exhibition, but importantly in a fun way and involving everybody.
Curious children and parents can catch the free exhibit at QV Mag until the end of March. There's still 11 more sleeps before Santa officially grants Christmas wishes, but today the man in red and his trusty reindeer Rudolph made an early visit. The duo and their friends dropping by the Royal Hobart Hospital, bringing smiles to the children's ward.
Stopping by for an extra special visit. Delighting the young, But little Charlie was only really interested in his present.
Can I get a big Santa hug? Yeah.
Father Christmas and his friends from Santa's Funland, which opens at the Hobart Showground next week, made the trip to bring part of their show and festive cheer to those stuck in the ward.
Obviously you don't want a scooter for Christmas.
No.
No. You did fall off your scooter, didn't you?
Yes, yep.
The fairies told me all about you.
It's not the ideal time to be in hospital. Everyone wants to be home with their families and loved ones, but you know, we try to make the home away from home experience a lot better. I think it's really special this time of the year.
The Christmas fairy brightening the mood with song.
And if you ever sorry. I think everybody needs a little bit of brightness brought into their day, and of course we can come here and help the children while they're not feeling so well.
Very exciting. Santa gave me a lollipop and the Christmas fairy gave me a crown.
Many of the children also creating their own decorations to give the ward a festive feel.
A lot of what you see here is, you know, what the children have done on the ward and in their time they've been here.
Today's visit making Christmas that little bit brighter.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Monica Dadson, Southern Cross News.
Now a look at the day's business and finance with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The share market has closed lower as gains for materials and energy companies were offset by falls for the utilities and property trust sectors. The ASX 200 index has dropped by 10.5 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 76.62 US cents and 109.45 New Zealand cents.
In a shock announcement, the Devonport Football Club has withdrawn from the Tasmanian State League, citing lack of player numbers for the decision. The competition will now consist of 8 teams, with the news coming just days after the 2018 fixture was released. It's a decision no football club wants to have to make, and it's one that certainly didn't come lightly for Devonport.
Yeah, very difficult, Tom. It's something that, you know, we didn't really want it to come to this, and we've worked long and hard to avoid the situation.
The club informing AFL Tasmania of its decision to withdraw from the State League last night.
Fair to say the news came as a shock and blindsided AFL Tasmania.
The club says the main reason is straightforward. It simply doesn't have the players to justify a side competitive enough to play TSL football. It comes after former playing coach Mitch Thorpe made the decision to leave in August. Star player Dylan Riley followed suit, with the two then committing to play for Launceston in 2018.
It might have played a part in it. You know, Mitch is a very good player. We lost him. We lost Dylan, who's a extremely good player too.
The club will still field a senior, reserves and under-18 side in the North West Football League as it looks to pick up the pieces and rebuild. But the president insists it will remain a viable entity.
Well, we're going to have to look at that. We've obviously talked to all the coaches, but the new structure hasn't been sorted yet, if there is going to be a new structure.
As for the recently released TSL fixture,
we didn't want to put out a roster one day and then the next day tell everyone we've had to pull it. So we'll get to work on recutting the roster. I guess 8 teams means we now mirror the Mercury Cups.
The Pies are now the second club to leave the State League, with the Prospect Hawks withdrawing for similar reasons before the 2017 season. Devonport and AFL Tasmania will now look to assist those on the senior list in finding a new home in the TSL.
I know we'll have some players who will want to continue to play at the higher level. They will go with our blessing.
I mean, from our perspective, the TSL's here to stay. The reality is we've got licence agreements in place till 2023.
Stables will once again have an opportunity to clinch an extra $100,000 this summer carnival, with Tas Racing bringing back the Cup's double bonus. And with more glitz and glamour on the schedule, including a Hobart Cup Eve Carnival, it's hoped more punters than ever get involved. Breaking from tradition, the new Cup Eve Carnival at Rest Point Casino will be headlined by Australian band The Rubens before the running of the Hobart Cup the next day. It's hoped the move attracts more mainland punters and helps put the Tasmanian Summer Racing Series on the map.
A destination weekend, and that's why we've partnered up with Rest Point to create a longer weekend.
The calendar kicks off for the 100th edition of the Devonport Cup on January 10 and finishes with the all-new Australian Female Jockey Championships in Launceston on March 7. The Hobart and Launceston Cups will run on their traditional dates of February 11 and 28, and if a stable can manage to win the Big Two, it'll take home the $100,000 double bonus.
Since its inception, it's gone off twice, and last year it went close to going off again. So I don't think the insurance company's too happy about it, but yes, it's a great incentive, and it's certainly a driver for mainland trainers and owners to come down.
Almost 80% of the 2017 Summer Carnival Stakes was won by Tasmanian horses, and the locals are again set to be well represented, with the Geared family's famous Gigi stable among the ones to watch.
Gigi's Golden Girl, she's a really nice mare. She's performed through her whole career, and she'll go on and hopefully go very close in the Devonport Cup and go on to the Hobart Cup.
The full Summer Carnival calendar can be found on the Go Racing Tasmania website.
The industry's sort of struggled a bit in the last couple of years, and you know, things are really looking up now.
Good evening. Hobart 27 degrees, Launceston 26 today, Burnie 23 and Devonport 24. What a top day right around the state. Friendly Beach is the high with 32. That's the east, getting very warm today. Temperatures up to 10 degrees above average for that region. St Helens 31, Fingal 30, Eddystone Point 28, Cressy 28, Campania 27, Bushy Park 25 degrees, Wynyard Grove and Flinders Island all 23, Low Head 21, King Island and Lyowini 20. There is a band of cloud east of Tasmania that runs from the Southern Ocean to over Central Australia. Another mid to high level cloud band with speckled cloud trailing its west of Tasmania. Bright thunderstorm cloud over the tropics. A little low cloud over western Tasmania today, and also about the mid-east coast. Some higher cloud passed over the west and south. Tomorrow a high ridge develops over southern WA, pushing towards Tasmania, putting us in a westerly flow. Low pressure troughs run through Queensland and coastal Western Australia. A cold front is over the bight. Northwest to southwest winds at 10 to 20 knots, shifting north-norwesterly in the afternoon, reaching 25 knots. Swells at 3.5 metres in western and southern waters. A partly cloudy Friday and 23 for Hobart, 24 for Huonville, bit of cloud for Campania, 25 the top. Launceston mostly sunny, 23 degrees, 21 for Devonport, sunny for Georgetown and 20. For Burnie, partly cloudy and 20, 21 for Strawn, Wynyard partly cloudy and 20. St Helens tomorrow mostly sunny, 25 the high, 22 for Swansea and Port Arthur. UV of course extreme all over with 11 all round. On Saturday, a shower over the west and south with a cloudy day for other districts. Fine on Sunday apart from showers over the northeast, most likely in the morning, and fine on Monday apart from a possible morning shower over the north. Sunny and 30 in Perth, fine and sunny for Adelaide and Melbourne, both on 26 tomorrow. A shower forecast for Canberra, 28, fine with a little bit of cloud over Sydney and Brisbane. Possible storms for Darwin and Alice Springs.
Before we leave you tonight, what do the names Snoop Dogg, Nissan Navara and Buffhead all have in common? Well, they're all dogs' names registered with the Launceston City Council for 2017. The council's annual data reveals Charlie and Bella are the most popular male and female monikers. More canines are being named after luxury brands like Porsche and Armani, while 5 individual dogs bear the name Bogues. Good name. That's all for the news team for now. We'll see you throughout the evening. Bye-bye.
Oi! Slow dia, let me say this for you. Can I get a big can of high? Yeah. Can I get... This is Jake. Hello, Jake. How you doing, buddy? Obviously you don't want a scooter from...